You're watching the Sitdown with Maxfield.
Hi guys, it's Alex Hodara. I'm going to interview him today and ask him a couple of questions. The first question is, how old were you when you first started your business, and what was the business?
Well, Maxfield, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm a big fan. A little nervous right now. It's a little overwhelming, but thanks so much for having me. So my first business was when I was 15 years old. So I was much older than you. How old are you?
I'm 9.
9. You are so advanced for 9. It's unbelievable. Okay, so I was 15. So I was a sophomore in high school, and all my friends and I used to play cards together, like poker. You ever play poker?
No, I haven't.
All right, so we used to play Texas Hold'em. It was like the big hot new thing on ESPN, and we would all watch it and play it. So I saw an opportunity to sell my friends poker chips. So what I did was I researched poker chips from China, clay, 11.5 gram clay poker chips. I imported them to America, and then I built my own website, and I started to sell these sets of poker chips on pokerchipking.com. And that was my first business. And then what I did after, do you know my background, like in real estate? Do you know about that at all?
I don't.
You don't? Okay, so my freshman year of college, I went to school at Boston University. I got my real estate license. Do you know what a real estate agent does?
No.
So, okay, like if your parents bought your house, I don't know if they bought it before you were alive, or do you remember them buying your house?
This is a newer house 3 years ago. I got it like 3 years ago.
Okay, so when they bought the house, remember someone showed you the house?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the real estate agent. So the real estate agent works between the seller and the buyer as like a salesperson in between the two, or they rent the properties between a landlord and a renter. So I worked as the middleman between landlords in the college area and all of my friends, because they all wanted to move off campus and have their own apartments. Like, can you imagine living on your own right now? Probably not, because you're 9 years old. No, yeah, it's too different. In college, you might want to live on your own. So I would help all my friends find their new apartments off campus. So I did that for 2 years. And then my junior year of college, so I was 21 years old, I started my own brokerage, and I hired 15 of my friends to work for me. So we had 16 agents plus me, the broker, working out of this like big office in Boston. And we were renting apartments to people. And then what happened was I learned how valuable these buildings were that I was renting. Something that you're going to learn in Rocket Club. Yeah. Okay. So you know how we learned about valuation at Rocket Club? Remember, do you remember the type of valuation that we use to value businesses?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what it's called? The income.
Income. I'm getting it.
The income approach, right?
Oh, yeah. Income approach. Yeah.
So I realized that these pieces of real estate that I was renting to my friends, right, these buildings, they had a certain amount of income that was coming in per year, right? They were rented for a certain amount of money. And then you could put a multiple on that income. You know so what was the multiple that we're using for lemonade businesses? We multiplied income times what number?
Times the
multiple, but what was the number?
Multiple of whatever you earned on your company.
Well, so we took the income that you guys are making and we multiplied it by what number to get our value of our business? Yeah, 10, exactly. And why was it 10?
Because
Two hours later.
I honestly don't remember.
Okay. So the reason is because other similar lemonade businesses sold for 10 times their income. So if we multiply our income times 10, we get the value of our business. The same thing applies for real estate. So basically, I was able to figure out the value of all these buildings. And then I started to sell the buildings. And before I graduated, I sold 21 big buildings.
Whoa.
And then I took that money and I started to buy and develop buildings. And now I have ownership in over 80 buildings between Boston and Jersey City. And that money is what I use to fund Rocket Club.
Okay. How do you think of the idea to start Rocket Club?
So my nephews who are joining Rocket Club next semester, very excited about that. When they were 6 and 7 years old, they came to me because they wanted to start a business selling geodes. You ever heard of a geode or seen a geode? It's a rock, like a shiny rock on the inside.
Oh, like isn't it quartz?
Yeah, I mean, there's some of them are quartz. Like they look like a regular rock on the outside when you crack them open.
Yeah, I have some of those.
Okay, so they were collecting geodes by cracking like big ones open and cracking them open. And then they wanted to sell the actual inside of the geode. So I started a business with them, and they were only 6 and 7. So they were like 3-4 years younger than you, right? Or 2-3 years younger than you. So we launched a website, and they were able to sell all the geodes. And I was like, wow, if a 6 and a 7-year-old understand how to do this business, I feel like 7 to 14-year-olds are going to do really well with this. And then at the same time, I sponsored a hackathon. You ever heard of a hackathon?
No.
So that's where like people come together and they have a certain amount of time to either build an app, like code an app, or build a robot. So these kids, they were all in middle school and high school. They were doing this. I sponsored the competition and I judged the competition. And I was just blown away with the technology they built. So I thought it would be really cool to have a program where you learn about STEM topics like coding and robotics, and then also entrepreneurship. So I was like, oh, wow, it'd be really cool to start a business that does both of those things.
Yeah. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned about the angel investors and the venture capitalists in class. What kind of investors do you have in Rocket Club?
Very good question. Before I answer, just curious, which one appealed more to you? Angel investors or venture capital?
Angel investor.
How come?
Well, they invest smaller amounts of their own money
Right.
into your business.
That makes sense. And what's something like about a venture capitalist that would make you nervous?
You just care about the money. That's all they care about.
Well, I don't know if that's totally true.
Well,
I mean,
I find it more risky, and they're helping invest way more money, like $250,000 to $1 million.
right.
That's really risky.
It's true. Yeah. And also, angel investors, what kind of money are they investing? Are they investing their own money or other people's money?
Their own money.
Right. And so venture capitalists, right, they're raising money from other investors. So, but I would say in general, venture capitalists can be phenomenal people. I know tons of venture capitalists that are great people. But I hear you. You would rather raise money for your business right now from angel investors. Can you tell me a little bit about your business?
Well, wait, this is my lemonade bottle. I forgot to show.
Oh man, that looks awesome.
Here is it.
Wow. That looks amazing.
It's called Astronade.
Ooh. Have you guys gotten any big deals yet?
Mighty Quins bought like a couple of they bought like 10 cases, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Case is like 24 bottles.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a great deal.
And goes on the back.
Oh, that's you.
Bottom. That's me on the bottom.
That's you. Yeah, no, you guys are doing an incredible job. It's a great looking bottle too. You guys did a great job with that. So Rocket Club actually doesn't have any investors. I self-fund the project. So I use the money that I've made from real estate to invest into Rocket Club. It's a business that I never want to sell. Like I want to grow this business. Nice background. Awesome. I want to be able to grow this business without the pressure of having to exit it one day, right?
Yeah.
So there's no investors in Rocket Club. I'm self-funding it.
Yeah, it's like a school. You don't want the school to shut down or bankrupt.
Yeah, it's really important. I don't know if you know this, but there's only so many members that are in Rocket Club. We're not going to scale to have like thousands of members. There's only going to be a couple hundred. And my goal is like, you're 9 years old right now. My goal is to stay in touch with you as you grow up and like become a even bigger deal than you are right now. I mean, you're pretty famous right now. I mean, as I said, I was pretty nervous to do this interview. But like in the future, that would be very hard for us to be able to help thousands and thousands and thousands of kids in the future, right? But a few hundred per year is very possible.
How do you see Rocket Club evolving in the future?
So the academy, which is what you're in, that will stay small. So we'll have a few hundred members, and every year I think that we're going to shock the world with what our members are able to do. Outside of the academy, I want to start to sell these jackets. So this is an official Rocket Club bomber jacket, and right now we have 50% of our members that come and pay full tuition, and 50% get a partial or full scholarship to come. So one of my thoughts is I want to start to sell these jackets in order to help fund some of the scholarship students. So that's one thing that will change in the future. We'll start to sell these cool jackets. I would love to start to open up individual classes, so individual coding classes, individual robotics classes, but
that's going to be so cool.
Yeah, those won't necessarily be part of the academy. The academy kids will get to do all of those individual classes, but those individual classes, they'll be outside. So I don't know if you ever heard of like White Hat Junior, like they do coding classes. I like their business model a lot. I could see doing that. I like Brick for Kids. I like that business model. I would love to do a TV show one day. I think that what we have with Rocket Club Live, what Morgan does, I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook or Instagram, I think it was, I don't know which one, but I got notifications that Morgan McDowell was making a live video.
Yeah, so he's been going live on Instagram, and we've had up to like 150, 200 people watch him live, interview people. So yeah, and he's just an incredible host. We're very, very lucky to have him. I don't know if you know this, but he ran one of our physical locations before we went virtual.
Wow.
I don't even know if you know this. We had physical locations before we went virtual.
Yeah. There's one around here actually. I've never seen it though. But
one day after COVID, we'll all get to hang out there.
Yeah. How many hours do you work on average?
That is an excellent question. So I'm a huge believer in balance. I think it's really important to have a very balanced life, spend time with your friends and spend time with your family, do things outside of work. I do have to admit that I work a lot, and I could probably use some of my own advice and maybe work a little bit less. I mean, I'm sure you know, right? When you hit me up on Slack, if you message me, I'm usually pretty much there, and I'm communicating back with you. Especially during COVID, since COVID started, and there's just not that many outdoor activities and like ability to go meet your friends in restaurants, stuff like that. I've definitely been working more. I would say per day, I would say from like 9 to 8, I would say close to like 11, 12 hours a day right now.
Wow.
There's a lot going on, man. It's like, I have all the buildings that, even though I don't have to manage them day to day, there's still a lot to do there. And then with Rocket Club, we're a growing business, so there's a lot going on at all times. But I love it. I mean, I'm having so much fun, as I'm sure you could tell with all this stuff.
Yeah. How does being an entrepreneur change your life and family?
So I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15. So the people around me, my family, my friends, they've always like known me as an entrepreneur. So I don't think that anything has changed necessarily. I met my wife freshman year of college. So we actually lived on the same floor. Like, you move into like dorms in college. So we lived on the same floor. So she knew me as an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. So I don't really think anything has really changed for me because I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15. Things are pretty much the same.
Yeah. What would you be doing now if you were not an entrepreneur?
That's a great question. See, here's the thing. I kind of think that no matter what you do, you're an entrepreneur. Like, let's say you have a real knack for interviewing, right? So there's a chance that you might want to have your own TV show one day, right? Maybe you'd want to have you ever watched Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, like the late night shows?
No.
No? Okay. Have you ever watched an interview show?
Yeah, I have. My dad is on one.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you know about interview shows. So, even if you're someone who interviews someone else on TV, I feel like you need to be an entrepreneur because you need to be thinking about how to leverage your own brand, right? Like for Astronade, you're leveraging that brand by getting like Steve Harvey to give you guys shout outs, which I saw, which was really cool.
Hey, congratulations to the Astronade Lemonade Company. Man, you all are entrepreneurs, y'all in the STEM program, you got the Rocket Club, and you sold it to the international barbecue chain? Are you kidding me? How boss is that? You are on your way to becoming billionaires, man.
And finding ways to get into restaurants. It's the same thing for anyone's personal brand. I just feel like no matter what you're doing, you are representing your own personal brand and you are an entrepreneur. So I guess let's say I went into creating TV shows instead of creating businesses, I would still see myself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Good question?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
What are you interested in learning?
So many things. I have many lists. I make many lists. And one of my lists are all the things that I want to study one day. One thing that I'm really, really interested in is neuroscience. And we actually hired a neuroscientist who did a study on Rocket Club to basically tell us about why your brain, right? You're 9 years old. You're so open-minded to everything. Why you are at the perfect time to be learning entrepreneurship, coding, and robotics. Like when you get older, it gets harder and harder to learn these things. So I would love to learn more about why the brain works like that when you're 7 to 14 years old. So neuroscience is one that I would love to learn more about. Oh man, there's so many things. I mean, I think history is fascinating. For instance, do you know how long ago the Big Bang supposedly was?
How long? I don't know.
Billions of years. Billions. The Big Bang was 13.7 billion years ago. Okay. How long ago do you think dinosaurs were around?
2 million years.
Good guess. Okay. So about 200 million years ago, or how long dinosaurs were around, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they went extinct like 65 million years ago. So they were around for like 200 million years, roaming the earth, right? And then do you know how long humans have been around, like us? According to scientists, they believe that humans have only been around for 200,000 years. So you have like the Big Bang, which is like 13 billion years ago. Then you have this little period of time where the dinosaurs were around for 200 million years. And then you have this microscopic piece of time where we're around for 200,000 years. That's something that I learned in my 20s. And I would love to learn more about that because that to me is just mind blowing. We have been around for like a fraction of a percent of time as long as the world has been around.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. What were you interested in your childhood?
I was huge in sports. Played hockey and golf growing up, baseball, basketball. You play golf or were you playing any sports?
No, I don't. Well, I do play baseball a bit, but not much.
So yeah, I loved sports growing up. And then when I became a teenager, I really started to love entrepreneurship. So, but I would say I was as passionate about sports as a kid as I am about entrepreneurship now.
When was Rocket Club created?
So originally it was created in Hoboken. That was the first location that we opened. And you're in Weehawken, right? Right next to Hoboken?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we were like probably 5-10 minutes away from where you were. And it opened as a physical location. And Paul Nunez, I don't know if you've met him yet. He was the manager of the space. He opened the space. And we did really well. And then we opened up 2 in Manhattan and then another one in Montclair. But then when COVID came around, we pivoted to a fully virtual curriculum. Which I think is that's when you came on. You came on in the summer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I came in the summer.
Cool. All right, what else can I tell you, Maxfield?
The last question was what is your job?
All right, well,
You're a real estate.
I'm a real estate developer and owner, but also I'm the founder and CEO of Rocket Club, which day to day is the majority of my life now.
Well, that's all the questions.
Thanks so much for having me on the show. What's your show called, by the way?
Fun Family House.
Fun Family House?
Yeah.
Love it. Maxfield's Fun Family.
I might change it probably, but I have no clue.
All right, I can help you brainstorm on that. You should look up, well, for the lemonade, right? We look up what other people name their lemonades. You should look up what other people name their shows.
Maybe I should put in like one of the CEOs of Astronade.
There you go. Boom.
And I'm gonna put the Rocket Club. The website is in the link of description. So
Awesome.
go check it out.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to stop the record. Thank you so much for having me on, Maxfield. This was a pleasure.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Thanks for watching.